Let's get it. We back. And we got another Larry Bird reaction. I know we all love Larry Bird reaction. That's why we all come here. Larry Bird is definitely the greatest of all time. The best world-round NBA player of all time. If you ask me. And I think we all can agree on that. Okay? And if we don't, it's okay. Stay tuned. We're going to convince you. Especially with this video we're about to get into right now. We got a prime Larry Bird video. I know we all love prime Larry Bird. Basically, it's the best Larry Bird Mamba mentality story ever told. And it just breaks down probably some stuff about Kobe and how maybe he got some of his game from Larry Bird. But if you didn't know, it's your boy DtaeNoDinero. And this is my reaction channel. And if you like Larry Bird content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Let's try to get 50 likes again, even though y'all always go way past it, which I appreciate y'all so much for. Drop something in the comments. Be sure to stay tuned. And also, go to my channel. Check out the Larry Bird playlist that I got on my channel. And then you'll be able to catch up on all the Larry Bird reactions that we've been done so far. And we can convince you, since you're not a Larry Bird fan. I don't know who a Larry Bird fan or not, but I mean, most of us here, we are. If not a ball, let's get to the video. I ain't about to talk y'all heads off.
When Kobe Bryant created an alter ego for himself, the Black Mamba, he embodied a spirit that became a cultural phenomenon.
So Kobe has to deal with these issues, all the personal challenges. The Black Mamba steps on the court and does what he does.
The Mamba mentality, an intense focus and relentless approach in preparation and competition, or as Kobe would describe it,
fuck everyone. I'm destroying everybody that step on the court.
And just guess who Larry Bird's favorite basketball player is?
Kobe was always my favorite since I got out.
I don't like that, by the way.
But Kobe is one of the toughest human beings I've ever seen, because I know what he's been through, and he's played a hell of a lot more minutes than me.
Yeah.
And he just finally figured out, hey, I'm going to get hurt. I'm just going to have to play through it. And that's the mentality of a great player.
Which, if you could have picked any current player right now to play with for an entire season, who would you pick?
Probably Kobe, because the fact that he's, well, of course he wouldn't have been shooting as much as he does now.
Yeah, you would have had to talk with him.
His desire to win, his dedication in the off season to get better, and he's just tough. He's just a tough cat. But if you want to have fun like I did with Bill Walton, you play with LeBron.
Really?
It'd been probably more fun to play with LeBron, but if you want to win and win and win, it's Kobe.
Now, if you know anything about Larry Bird...
Hold on. I know we just started, but it's already getting juicy, y'all. So be sure to hit that like button. Come on, man. 50 likes, I don't think I can do that. But did y'all hear what the great Larry Bird himself has said? He picked Kobe over LeBron. So before we even have any more of these topics of who's better between Larry Bird and LeBron got to go against Kobe. And y'all heard what Larry Bird said. He'll pick Kobe because Kobe want to win. And if you know one thing about my man Larry Legend, he likes to win. Hey, drop some in the comments. Y'all think about what I just said. What y'all think about Kobe and his dedication? What y'all think about Larry Bird and his opinion on Kobe Bryant and how he'd pick Kobe for the win and LeBron for having fun? Which basketball is about being fun, but not if you ain't got a ring. Boy,
know anything about Larry Bird, then you should not be surprised that he picked Kobe Bryant over LeBron James, because Larry Bird had that same Mamba mentality that Kobe had way before Kobe coined the phrase. And it all started after Larry Bird had a bad experience as a freshman at Indiana University, causing him to drop out of college after only 2 weeks on campus. To everyone's surprise, Larry had given up his basketball career and gone back to his hometown of French Lick, Indiana, to become a garbage collector?
They talk about the garbage. In French Lick, it takes you about half a day to pick up all the garbage, so that was a very small part. But you know what, Mark? It's a job. I never thought I was too good to do anything. I'd do it today if I had to. But a lot of things were cutting trees down, painting curves, cleaning the streets, laying asphalt. We did everything.
But when Bill Hodges, the head coach of Indiana State, went to French Lick to meet Larry Bird for the very first time, he said one thing to Larry that struck a nerve so hard that it made Larry change his mind from being a garbage collector to being a cold-blooded killer on the court. And Larry's first victims were Indiana State's starting five.
You know, when when I got to Terre Haute, Bob King, he asked me what I knew about players in the state, and when Larry was a junior, he wasn't very big then. He was about 6'3", but I guess he's grown quite a bit since then. I saw him play in the All-Star game. That he's really good. He said, well, let's go get him. And I got a hold of a kid that had played high school ball. He was a senior when Larry was a junior. He was one of Larry's best friends. He went home and talked Larry to coming up there to visit. And
States
Hold on, y'all, real
five.
quick.
when I got to Terre Haute, Bob
and
King,
great
he
story.
asked me what I knew about players in the state, and when Larry was a junior, he wasn't very big then. He was about 6'3", but I guess he's grown quite a bit since then. I saw him play in the All-Star game. That he's really good. He said, well, let's go get him. And I got a hold of a kid that had played high school ball. He was a senior when Larry was a junior. He was
I'm
one
going
of
to pause
Larry's
it right
best
here
friends.
because I want y'all up at the bottom of the screen. It says Spring Valley's Larry Bird left is soaring now with a scoring average of 33.6 points. He averaged his number in high school. That don't get acknowledged enough. We talk about a lot of greats and, a lot of other people that play good and stuff like that. But 33, to be averaging 33 in high school is a pretty high number. Shout out to Larry Bird for doing that. Drop a like for that man, Larry Bird, for him creating this bird mentality. Because, we're not going to call it the Mamba mentality. It's the bird mentality. And then Kobe took that and tweaked that. And then, I don't know. Let's get back to the video. But drop some in the comments what y'all think about what I just said.
He went home and talked Larry to coming up there to visit, and I think he had Kevin Carnes with him and 2 or 3 other kids, and they came out and played against our best 5 players, and they wore their jeans. I tried to give him a pair of shorts to wear, he wouldn't wear them, and they went out and just whooped our guys in their blue jeans. They didn't just beat them, they wore them out.
This mentality is one of the rare traits that only a select few of the all-time greats had. And when Kevin Pritchard, who played 6 years in the NBA, was asked about his most memorable experience, Larry Bird's mentality was at the top of the list.
Pritchard with 1 second, he'll pop for 3, got it! It counts! Kevin Pritchard, as if he knew it all along.
Well, I played for the Celtics and Larry Bird. It doesn't get much better than that. Seeing him on a daily basis, seeing how he saw the game, how it came so easy, and how just such a masterful player he was. I think the thing you know about Larry is that he's ultimately super confident, right? He knows he's going to make the shot, and okay. And I kid with people all the time about that, and I try to explain how I see it, how his confidence is. And I think the way I would explain it is this. If aliens were coming down to the earth and they said, listen, we're going to give you 1 shot to make 1 free throw, or else if you make it, the earth goes on living. You miss it, we destroy the earth. The thing I would do is I would hand the ball to Larry Bird. Larry would make the free throw, and he'd go, where are we going for lunch?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he does that, but he's just got this ability to take all the clutter, all the noise out, and just play basketball or see basketball. And to me, that's a special, special talent. Everybody tries it. I'll give you another example. We go down to his ranch and we throw beanbags, cornhole toss, right? Mm-hmm. And the guy is world class. And he turns into he just kind of plays for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it gets close. He becomes, I'm telling you, I would put him against anyone in the universe at doing it, because he'll go 4 in a row, 4 in a row, 4 in a row. And I don't know how he can turn that on like he does. It's an amazing gift that he's been given. And you know what? To be honest with you, he takes full advantage of it too.
Yeah.
He's one of those kind of guys to me that whatever his ceiling is and whatever he does, he's going to hit it.
And as soon as Larry Bird stepped on a college basketball court, his opponents could already tell that Larry Bird was just on another level. Like the first time when Bill Lynch, as a senior at Butler University, played Indiana State when Larry Bird was just a sophomore.
This is true. My senior year, we played him twice. We were playing Indiana State home and home back in those days. And he was a sophomore, and he just beat our brains out, to tell you the truth. The very first time we played him, it was like one of the first possessions down the court, and I got switched off on him. So the ball goes up. I went to block him out, like like fundamental. And the ball came off, and I remember going up to get it. And the next thing I know, I saw this big arm come over the top. And he slammed that ball down so hard. I think the ball hit the floor, came up and hit me underneath the chin. I bit my tongue. I turned around, and there's 33 running the other way. And that was probably his first 2 of 40-some that night. But he was, looking back at it, though, I think we even knew that night we left. We played against a guy that's as good as you could ever play against. And scouting reports back in those days weren't quite the way they are today. It was a little bit of, you went in before the game and the coach says, okay, Lynch, you got 25, and Burris, you got 32, and we were just playing man-to-man defense. And we went through the season. Then our last college basketball game, the final game I played at Butler was at Hinkle, and it was Larry Bird and Indiana State coming back in. And so we were ready for him that night. He got 47 on us that night, and he could have scored 70. Of course, that was back before the three-point shot. But we played against a lot of really good players, but there was no one like Larry. I mean, he was so good, and he could do anything he wanted on the court.
That day, Larry Bird, as a sophomore, set in.
Listen, I don't know what to say. First off, let me give a shout out to whoever the people are that I probably went back and redid the graphics for this video for us to give us this good color context. I'm pretty sure back in the day, this video was not captured in color, but I could be wrong. But this is great graphics. You can see everything clear. And I know that game went crazy because Larry Bird was going spectacular things. Also, I want to give a shout out to Peyton Pritchard and him telling that great story about Larry Bird and his experience about why he played with him. And also, let's give a shout out to Rick Fox. Y'all didn't see Rick Fox on the bench? I didn't know Rick Fox played with Larry Bird. You know? I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? Drop some in the comments if you knew Rick Fox played with Larry Bird. But I do want to touch on the fact that Larry Bird dropped 47 on them boys' head. Came into the practice, didn't even want to play on the team. He came into the practice, right, in jeans, and gave these boys buckets. Hey, Larry Bird was completely different. We all know that Larry Bird's a unicorn, but at this point, his whole story is a unicorn. like, come on now. Like, even the other things that we know about Larry Bird, with some of the stuff that happened to him and the experiences that he's been through in life as a childhood being a teenager, with losing his father, and the struggle of growing up. His whole story is just unicorn-like. And he had a great attitude about the way he carried himself, going back home to be a garbage man and being okay with that. That's very truly humble when you're literally the best basketball player aspect of a basketball, but okay. Last thing before we go back to the video, is I don't want to talk y'all heads off, is that did y'all see Larry Bird dive into that crowd for that fat ball, knowing he was never going to get that? His dedication was on a whole nother level. Hey, if you ain't like the video yet, be sure to like the video. New to the channel, it's your boy DtaeNoDinero. So hit that subscribe button. Join our Larry Bird family on my reaction channel. And be prepared for more new content. Oh yeah. If you're still here, Happy New Year. What's your New Year's resolution? Drop that in the comments. Merry Christmas. What you give for Christmas? Let me know. And what were you thankful for Thanksgiving? I don't know. I miss y'all.
Sophomore set Indiana State's single-game scoring record against Butler. This record only lasted for 2 years because on February 25th, 1979 versus Wichita State, Larry Bird broke his own record and set a mark that has not been broken for 45 years and counting.
A 6'9.5" senior from Flint, Indiana, Larry Bird. This is the first time that Indiana State Sycamores have ever been on national television. And are they ready? They think they're number one. And they hope to prove today by remaining undefeated that they are number one. That's the man, Larry Bird. Galosinski. The jump against Gilbert, and Bird controls, feeds off the call, next to court.
He had the best hand-eye coordination, maybe, of anybody that ever played basketball. And that's why he was so good with his anticipation, both offensively and defensively.
Tip off, Larry Bird, no good. There you saw the passing ability of Larry Bird, supposed to be the best passing forward in basketball in some time.
But even though Larry Bird was the best passing forward in college basketball, instead of putting on a passing clinic, he decided to put on a shooting one.
He's having quite a game. He's that ball. Bird goes up and puts it in. Get out your calculators, men. Yes, they won it. Larry Bird off the backboard. Getting into gear now. Bird from the corner. Is he the best collegiate player in the country? Many people say he certainly is.
There wasn't anything he didn't think he could do on the basketball floor. Our game plan was to get the ball in his hands as much as possible, and he made good things happen.
Bird almost lost that ball out of bounds. Now takes a shot. Oh, my.
There's one in your face. Here's where you catch Larry Bird. Watch him put the ball in the face. There, take it in the face, then now watch him shoot it. Unbelievable. You know how far away that is? That's in left field.
By halftime, Larry Bird already had 22 points. But just imagine if he had a three-point line to go with it.
This day, they go undefeated. They'd win their 26th in a row. Larry Bird from way outside.
Oh. Unbelievable outside shooter.
Indiana State has scored in spurt. Oh, here's a long one again.
It seems that the further out he is, the more high percentage he puts the ball in.
There's Bird by himself. Look out. That's what happens. Look out. 39 points by my count.
And as Indiana State started pulling away, everyone knew that they were witnessing something special.
Bird comes up with it, puts it up, and it is good.
Are we even trying to make that?
Well, he's got 41 points already. He's putting on quite a display. Nix shooting high. Bird is there. Come on. There are the statistics on Larry Bird. 4 more points and he'll have an all-time high. And he will have saved it for national television when his team is on.
There's somebody out there that's unforgettable, unflappable, unselfish, and unstoppable. And I don't know who it is, but I think that person will receive the most valuable player.
We'll think about it. Well, let's say we've got it. Larry Bird, $1,000 comes to Indiana State in his name. And one of many commendations he'll have before his collegiate and professional careers are over.
Student body wants Larry Bird to have the ball.
He's got the ball. He's got the shot. He's got the Larry Bird with 49 points, an all-time record.
And to think Larry Bird, one of the greatest players of all time, almost gave up his basketball career before it even started. But what exactly did Coach Bill Hodges say to Larry Bird the day they met to make Larry change career paths and play basketball at Indiana State? Well, I'll let Bill Hodges tell you exactly how it went down.
So, 2 days after I was in Terre Haute, we went to French Lick. And everybody had tried to recruit him, but nobody had been able to get very far with him. He had kind of a bad taste in his mouth. He didn't know what he was going to do, though. And we found his high school coach, so he took us over to meet Larry, and Larry wasn't there, and his mom said, "You coaches are just driving him crazy. Why don't you just go away and leave him alone?" Bam, she closed the door. Gary said, "Wow, she must have had a bad day because she's normally real nice."
But one slammed door wasn't enough to stop Bill Hodges, so he drove around French Lick, Indiana, until he could find Larry Bird himself.
So we drove around town and took Gary back. He said, "If you come back in a couple of days, I'll round Larry up and you can get to talk to him." Dan said, "Well, let's go back to Terre Haute." I said, No, I'm from Zionsville. Zionsville's about the same size as French Lick. We're going to find Larry." I said, hey, there aren't too many places you can hide a 6'8" guy in a town like this. And we drove around for a while, and I made a right turn and started down the street, and we were passing a laundry where you go in and wash your clothes.
Yeah.
And here comes this big blonde kid out of there, and I said, "There he is right there." And I pulled in. He said, "You think?" I said, "There can't be two of them in this town." And got out and introduced myself. He wouldn't shake hands because he had been working on his truck, and he was carrying a basket of clothes, and he put it in the car, and I started talking to him about, we'd like to talk to you about Indiana State. And he said, "Well, I'm busy working on my truck right now. I just don't think I have time right now." And his grandmother, she heard me talking with him. So she come around there and she said, Larry, these nice fellows were, they took their time to drive all this way to see you. Invite them up to the house for some iced tea. Oh, Granny, I'm working on my truck. Larry? And that was all there was to that. He didn't say anymore. So we followed him up there, and she fixes tea, and we sat and talked with him.
This golden opportunity was almost ruined by Bill's assistant, because what he didn't know was, just like on the basketball court, Larry Bird was not above doing the dirty work.
We kept talking, and he was telling us about working for the city. I said, what do you do? He said, well, each day of the week is different. We paint the curbs one week, and we might pick up dead limbs and maybe plant flowers or in the parks on Tuesday, and then we do this Wednesday, and on Thursday we pick up garbage. I said, do you drive the truck? He said, hell no, Sam drives the truck. I work on the back. and it kind of kept going there, and so Stan had kind of said, well, you want to work on a garbage truck the rest of your life? And Larry kind of looked over and said, I kind of like the job. And I knew that wasn't making him happy. So I said, Stan, let's go. We got to get out of here. And let Larry get back to work on his truck.
Luckily, Bill Hodges was there to redirect the conversation. Because if he wasn't, Larry Bird may have been content being a garbage collector for the rest of his life. Because out of all of the coaches and the recruiters that tried to get Larry to come to their school, Bill Hodges was the only person to connect with Larry. Because they were both from small towns and had a lot in common. But then, Bill said something to Larry that woke up a sleeping giant.
We talked about playing AAU ball, which both of us had. And, we talked about baling hay, and, that's what he did during the summer. That's all I did during the summer. And we had a lot in common, small towns, and just we knew each other, I was talking about recruiting. We had to have a point guard, and he said, well, you ought to get Kevin Carnes. He said, my cousin, Kevin Carnes, he was a senior when I was a junior. He said, if he had gone to college, he'd have been a great player. And I looked at him, and I said, Larry, if you don't come and go to Indiana State with us, that's what they're going to say about you one day. And, boy, that's the first time he looked me in the eye all day. And I knew I had him.
And when Bill Hodges came back to French Lick 2 days later and knocked on Larry Bird's door, Larry's mother answered again. But this time, she was singing a completely different tune.
We headed back to Terre Haute, and I got all the papers that we needed to get signed and filled them out and addressed the envelope to Indiana. And 2 days later, I drove down there and knocked on the door. His mother answered the door. She said, oh, come in, Coach. It's good to see you.
Had a different tone.
Wow, is this a different reception? And, Larry said, how do you know I was going to sign? How do you know? I said, well, if you're an intelligent kid, and this is the intelligent choice to make. So all you have to do is sign right here, and I'll mail it for you. And he signed it, and the rest is history.
Larry Bird went on to have one of the greatest college careers ever. And as a senior, he led a relatively unknown Indiana State team to a 33-0 record and a berth in the national title game, prompting some experts to say that Larry Bird was the greatest college player of all time.
Gets it to Heaton, the clutch player. Left hand! He made it! 1 second to go! Second time he did it! Time is over! Game is over! Bob Heaton keeps Indiana State undefeated! They're on to the Final Four!
Larry had to do more with less. I think, frankly, that Larry Bird getting the 1978-79 Indiana State team to the finals with a 33-0 record is the single greatest personal achievement in the history of college basketball.
I hear what you're saying about Kareem. I'm actually old enough. I got to watch Wilt Chamberlain play college basketball at Kansas, and it was the same impact where he was just unstoppable. But Shannon, you grew up a fan of one Larry Joe Bird. And I got to tell you, the harder I look at what Larry Bird did with an Indiana State team, well, Larry Bird basically picked 4 guys from Terre Haute and said, you guys come out here and let's go try to win the NCAA championship. And I've never seen anything like what Larry did. Larry Bird took them to 33-0. And when you look at what they did, again, I'm going to give, I know
game.
what you're talking about, most important. Yeah, I got it. But most important or most valuable to one season, man, what Bird did was just off the charts. We've never seen anything like that. It's just hard to go that far with that little. And Larry Bird did so much with so little.
I'll just have to say now, everybody's got their favorite player and everything, but there's no question at all who it was the best player in NBA basketball. There is no doubt. And it's Larry Bird. I don't care. I'm prejudiced, maybe, but I mean, all-around player. Now, I don't think anybody will ever be like.
Wow. I mean, must I say that was one of the best videos that I have watched on Larry Bird in the last 30 days. I mean, I haven't watched a Larry Bird video in the last 30 days in a while, so I mean, I'm just being honest with y'all. Can't lie. I am lost for words, honestly. You know, the way that Bill Hodges went about the situation initially in 2024, people would have kind of took it as overstepping, you know. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You got to be persistent and be consistent and keep showing that you really want something in order to get something out, you know. And that's what he did. And he worked hard in order to, you know, prove to Larry Bird that, I think you're a great player. You'll be a great addition to our team, and this is going to change your life, so on and so forth. And it did. It worked out in Larry Bird's favor. I just want to set the record straight first and foremost. But Larry Bird taking that team on a 33-0 run, and that team had never been to basically any type of tournaments or championships, is just another statement on Larry Bird's resume, on why he's the greatest of all time. Also, now we have something new calling the greatest college player of all time. So, you know, you can add that to the resume too, y'all. So anybody want to go have an argument and debate about why Larry Bird is not the greatest of all time, just go ahead and point out the fact that no matter that they the greatest college player of all time. So let's just go ahead and set the record straight. I don't want to talk y'all heads off. We've already been here for a long time. It's 30 minutes. So if you're new to the channel, you've been here this long, be sure to hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on no more videos. Hit that notification bell on. That way as soon as the video drop, like this one, it pops up on your phone and you know that, hey, Larry Bird, it's that Larry Bird time. Also hit the like button, y'all. 50 likes. I know we can do that with these. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for all the likes and all the stuff y'all do for me in the past. Comments. The great conversations we have in the comments. Because I see the comments that y'all have. And I respect everybody's opinion. You don't think Larry Bird is the greatest of all time, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you right now, there are a lot of us that do. And it's because he is. Just going to let you know that one last time. But look, though, it's your boy DtaeNoDinero. And I don't know what y'all New Year's resolution is, but mine is at least try to get y'all one video a week. Finally put myself in a position where I don't have to work anymore, and like financial freedom wise, where like not, you know, going to work and then do these crazy hours for somebody else. I'm actually working for myself, and I want to do that with content. So be prepared for different type of videos being on my channel. If you're not your cup of tea, that is fine. But it's time for me to add more things into the channel so more people can come and join, and they can also find out more about Larry Bird. But hey, hit the like button. We out, silly bud. Peace.